For making Spiderman sweater, I am going to need yarn in red and black color. Red being the main body and black stripes and borders. I will also need a little bit of white yarn for making eyes of the Spiderman. My favorite pair of scissors, 3.5 mm crochet hook, and I will use a darning needle. Make a moving knot, chain 80 and slip stitch into very first stitch. Chain 3. This will be counted as my first DC. Now I will make DC in next 9 chains. I am making DC in the one loop only. See this. First row is very important so that your partition is very clear to you, and then going ahead becomes easy. So first chain 3 will be counted as first DC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. After 10 DC, what I am going to do is going to make a V stitch in the next chain. So yarn over, pull up a loop, make a DC, chain 1 and DC in the same space. So this is the first corner I have created. So this will be my back. Now this is the first partition. Now I am making a sleeve. My partition for this sweater is going to be 10 DC partition, 18 DCs will be first sleeve partition, 20 DC front partition, again 18 DC partition, that will be second sleeves, and last will be 10 DC and joining into the same space. So after this first partition, I will just add a stitch marker into it so that it becomes very easy. Now 18 DC. This is my 18th and the last DC for the sleeve. After this I will make a partition. So DC, chain 1 and DC in the same space. And to mark it, I am slipping in one more stitch marker. See this. This is where we started, back side. Now this is my sleeve number 1. Now 20 DC and next partition. One more stitch marker. Now I will make 18 DC in next 18 chains, and then next partition or the last partition is due. After 18 DCs on 18 chains, next partition, which is DC, chain 1 and DC in the same space. Again, to remember it, I will slip one more stitch marker into it. Now 10 DCs on 10 chains remaining and slip stitch into the third chain where we started, and last DC, and I am done with this slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. So now what I am going to do is I am going to do 3 lines of red and 1 line of black. That is what my combination is going for sweater. So second line again, chain 3. My chain 3 is always going to be counted as first DC, then DC on DC, corner on corner, see when I say DC on DC, my last line's corner becomes part of next line's side. So this was my V stitch, but it has become regular DC. Now again in this corner space I am going to have 1 DC, chain 1 and 1 DC, and move my stitch marker from previous line to the current line. See this. Now again on this side, all DC on DC, and in the corner I am going to have DC, chain 1, DC. So here we had 18 DCs in the first line. Now 1 DC here and 1 DC here will increase. DC, chain 1 and DC in the same space is my corner or side separator. We had 20 stitches for front portion and 2 separators. Now we will have 22 stitches and 2 separators. So I have already done one corner. Now DC on DC, after DC on DC, corner on corner. So DC, chain 1 and DC in the same space. Put back the stitch marker. Now I am on to next sleeve. So 18 stitches will become now 20 stitches and corner on corner. My 18 stitches have become 20 stitches, corner on corner. Now here also I will do a corner on corner. DC, chain 1 and DC. Now 11 DCs on this line of DCs and we are done. And I'm going to slip stitch into the third chain from the hook or in the third chain where we started. Again, this is how my work will look. Let me zoom out to show you. So this is back side, these are two sleeves, and this is my front side. Third line I'm going to do in red color, and then for one line I will change it to the black color. This is how the work will look after third line. Now it's time to change the color. Here, before you slip stitch with same color, insert the hook, and instead of red, pull up a loop with black yarn. Now first chain is always with the shorter tail or the portion that we will weave in, and now chain 3 with black color. Now here I will just weave in this red color while working so that I can leave it behind and start working with black color. Chain 3 again. It's all clear, DC on DC, corner on corner. So my red color is already on the top. I don't have to make any adjustments. Line number 4 is with black color, DC on DC and corner on corner. I will meet you at the end of this line where I will again switch back to red color. This is how our work should look after line number 4. Now here I am going to stop using black color and switch back to red color. Chain 3. I will weave in this black color while chaining so that I can leave it later on. Again 3 more lines with red color and 4th line will be with black color. This is how my work is progressing, and I will do 10 lines. So this is 4. Next black line will be 8th, and 2 more lines with red, and then I will start for the chest portion or leaving the sleeve holes open. I will do the neck lining in the end. Let me show you one more time how I change the color. Last DC. Now I have to slip stitch in the 3rd chain, insert the hook, but instead of black, complete the stitch with red. Now pull this black thread again, and while making these chain 3, weave in them in the chains. So this portion will be now upside, and I will start working with red color. I am done with 8 lines. I will do 2 lines with red color, and in the 3rd line I will make this armholes separate from the main body. I'll meet you after 2 more red lines. I am done with 10 lines of yoke. Now this is the 11th and the last line in the red color that I am going to do. Slight modification in this line is I am going to skip sleeves, directly complete the circle for chest, and here onwards work only on the body part. So chain 3 DC on DC till here, chain 5 and start DC on DC on the other side. Please watch this carefully. Chain 3, DC on DC, DC on DC till I reach the stitch marker or my V stitch, that is what I call it. Sleeve separator, V stitch or stitch marker, whichever way you would like to call it. Now I have reached the stitch marker. Instead of 1 DC, please make 2 DCs in the space. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and directly move on to next stitch marker. Here I did 2 DC in the corner or chain 1 space. Now again DC on DC till the next stitch marker. I have reached next stitch marker. Now I will do 2 DC in the corner space or chain 1 space. Now chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Directly go to the next stitch marker. Two DC in the corner space. And again DC on DC till end. We will slip stitch into the very first place and complete the line. Next line is with black color. I am going to change color. So last DC, slip stitch into third chain from the hook. Now here instead of red I will complete the stitch with black color. Pull up the loop properly, close the stitch well. Weave in red color yarn while making these 3 chains and continue your line with black color. Now only for this line the change is DC on DC, and on these 5 chains we are going to make 7 DCs and again continue doing DC on DC, again 7 DCs in this chain 5 space, Again DC on DC and slip stitch into very first DC. This separates armhole from the main body. I started with black color here, DC on DC. In chain 5 space I have made 7 DCs. Again DC on DC. Now let me show you how I made the armhole opening. Now I have reached the chain 5 space. So in this I will do 7 DCs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 DC in chain 5 space, and now remaining DC on DC, slip stitch here. Again I will shift back to red color. Now I have separated main body from the sleeves. First I will work only on this portion. Now I don't have to use black color for the body, so I will cut the yarn and weave in while working on this particular line. Now no increase, no decrease, just continue 21 lines and then the border will happen. I am done with total 20 lines for the body of sweater. Now I need to start making the border. I am going to make a moving knot, attach the yarn at one corner and start making line of DC on DC. First line is always plain, and then I will do front post and back post. So border line number 1 with black color, DC on DC. And I am weaving in the end so that later on I don't have to work on it. Line number 1 is complete with slip stitch, chain 3, front post, then back post, front post and back post. Front post means yarn over. The DC will be in front of hook and you will pull up a loop from behind. Front post will give front elevation and back post will give back elevation. So now onwards 4 lines of front post and back post and we are done with the border. Because it's black color, the border may not be visible. Let's wait a bit to get it bigger. So 4 lines of front post and back post, and we are done with the border. After I am done with 5 lines of border, I am just going to slip stitch into the third chain from the hook and pull up the loop, cut the yarn and weave in the end. Hope this is a bit clear to you. Now before I start with sleeves, I am going to finish the neck border. Again, join black color, first line DC on DC, then 4 lines of front post and back post. This is how our sweater will look once we have the border at base and of course at the neck. Now we will start with sleeves. What we need for sleeves is stitch markers. If you look at the armhole closely, what we have is DC on DC all around, then a line of separation. So here 1 DC will come. We have picked up 7 DCs on 5 chains, so 7 DCs here and 1 DC here. So make a moving knot and attach the yarn in the third DC or the middle DC. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So I will attach the yarn near 4th DC. Chain 3, this will be counted as my first DC. Then DC on DC, so I will pick up 3 DCs here. Now I am around the line where I separated the armhole and the body. So here I will pick up only 1 DC and rest all DC on DC. I have weaved in the end while working, so later on I will have no work. Now I am at the other side of the armhole. I will just pick one DC in this line where I separated my armhole and body, and here I need to pick up only 3 DCs. Now next line is black line, so I will change the color. While doing slip stitch, I'll pull up a loop with black color. One, 2 and 3 chains. This is going to be my first DC. Now one line of DC on DC. I have total 44 DCs. If you have 1 or 2 plus minus, just remember we need even numbers. So if you need to add 1 or 2 or reduce 1 or 2, it's okay. Whatever number of stitches you will have for sleeve number 1 should be the same for sleeve number 2. Next line is going to be in red color. So I have already changed the color. I will chain 3. While chaining, I am weaving in the black color so that it's easy to leave it aside. And the small portion of black I am going to weave in while at work. Now this line is of reduction. So after this I am going to reduce. It means I will make 2 DCs into 1. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, don't complete. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, don't complete. Yarn over, pull through 3, and this is where we have reduced. So just put a stitch marker. We are going to repeat the reduction on the other side, so it's easy to understand where we have reduced, and that's why I have put this stitch marker. Now again I will do DC on DC all around, and when I'll come here I will reduce. Because my stitches are in black color, you may not be able to see the actual work, but one reduction at the start and one reduction at the end. This is how we are going to reduce. So now DC on DC, and I'll show you how I reduce in the end. I am nearing the other end of the sleeve. I am left with only 2 DCs. What I will do is reduction. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all, and slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook or on the top of first DC. So in this line I have reduction of 2 DCs. Here and here I have reduction. Again chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, DC on DC. I will do reduction in every 4th line. Now I need to do 2 lines in red and 1 line in black. So after these 3 lines are done, I am due for the next decrease. This is where I reduce the stitches. 2 lines DC on DC in red color, 1 line DC on DC in black color, and now I am again ready to work in red color. Now I have changed the color, chain 3. I will start with reduction. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. I will have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through 3. This is my second reduction. Now again DC on DC all around, and next reduction will be these 2 stitches converted into 1. I am left with 2 DCs which I have to reduce. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and slip stitch into very first DC or third chain from the hook. This is my second reduction. Again I will do 2 lines in red color and 1 line in black color, DC on DC, and then I will do my next reduction. After second reduction, I have done 2 lines in red color, 1 line in black color, DC on DC. Change the color. Now I am due for next decrease. All my reductions are around the central DC. So 2 DCs on left and 2 DCs on right. This is what I am clubbing and maintaining the central stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and reduction is done. Now slip stitch into the third chain from the hook or on the top of central DC. Next decrease, chain 3, I have managed all the decreases in red color so that at least it will be visible for you. All line DC on DC, and next decrease is these 2 stitches. I will have 2 more decreases and then we'll do the border. I am keeping these stitch markers so that decreasing stitches on the same lines while doing other sleeve will be easy for me. After 6 decreases, I have done line of DC on DC in black color. Now next 4 lines I'm just going to do front post DC and back post DC. This is now border, so front post and back post. 4 lines and then a sleeve is done. So we had 44 stitches. We reduced 6 times. It means we reduced 12 stitches. Now what is remaining is 32 DC. 32 DC, 4 lines of front post on front post and back post on back post, and we are done with the border. I am done with the sleeve. Now all I need is to weave in the end. This is my first sleeve and this is other sleeve. My basic sweater is ready. Before we start doing anything on the sweater, I will create a design here on paper just for your reference. So I'm considering this as my black stripe where I have started working plain. So I'm going to have few lines, one in the center, one is little diagonal and another is furthermore diagonal. Same way I will do the marking on other side. Now these are going to be my elements of web. One more line and we are done. This design we keep it in mind while working. Now my spider can be anywhere, this portion or this portion. This is how we are going to give the superpower to the simple cardigan, and we will have a Spiderman special. This is my design and I am going to line up my stitches. So this is going to be my central line from border till the first black line. I have marked it. I just need to do the stitching part of it. So I'm using black yarn with darning needle. So make some knots and weave it from the border. Few stitches ahead and one back stitch ensures strength to the thread that we are planning to weave in. So I'm very much here. Now way to draw the line is once up, once down, once up and once down, once up and once down. Likewise, we will run till here and return pass we will have Wherever we have gone up, we'll go down, and wherever we were down, we'll go up. So it's a kind of drawstring type arrangement. One loop you will have up and one loop you will have down. See this? And even if your line becomes crooked, just don't worry. Spiders don't sit with the geometrical instruments and do it perfectly aligned. Crooked lines are perfectly fine for this project. So I am done first part of the line. Now I will zoom in a bit and show you my return pass. I'm starting from the place where I had thread downward, and just I'm passing through the exact opposite side of it. Wherever thread was down last time, now we will have the loop on it. I have not cut the yarn after this first line. I am just weaving in, because more number of knots you leave, there are more chances of getting it frogged. Please understand, we are creating a garment for kids, and they are not going to be delicate with the garment the way elders can be. So I have reached the place where I want to start my work. Taking one more additional loop here so that I start my work with the strength. Now again, one line up, one line down, one line up, one line down, one line up, one line down, see, this is how work is shaping up. One line up, one line down, one line up, one line down, I have reached till top. Now I will just put a knot here and start doing my return pass. I am done with the second line. Now I will go somewhere here and put the third line. Before that, putting up the line up is very important. The next line will be this. So I am again not cutting the yarn. I am just passing it through. First I need to reach here. And then I will start moving in the direction. Now I am going diagonal. We keep that one stitch up and one stitch down. I am done with the half part of the line. Return pass is same way. Wherever I was down, I will put a stitch up, and wherever I was up, I will put the needle down.
Once you reach to the side, then just straight down to the border, and this is where we are going to cut the yarn. See, I have reached the border. Now I will weave in through the border and then cut it. Please remember, it's a kids garment, safety is needed more. Doing little bit of extra work to ensure so half side is done. Now I will do the lines on this side and then I will start the circular lines. Now I will start doing the pin lineup for circular lines. In total I want to have 4 lines, so marking for 2, and then I will do 2 more lines. Now where to put spider is completely my choice. Making a spider is very easy. 12 DCs in magic ring is my head, and 2 rounds, that is 12 DCs in magic ring and 2 DCs on each, that is 24. This is what will make my spider. Again, I am going to stitch this onto the garment. If you want to make the spider 3D, you just need to add a little bit of leftover yarn in this while doing the stitching part of it. I have decided to give little 3D effect to my spider. So first thing, I'm going to fix 2 beads as 2 eyes for my spider. So this is a circle with 12 DC in the magic ring, and that is going to be my head for the spider. I am just stitching 2 beads, very tiny beads. What I like about this project is raw look or crooked lines, unfinished things look very good on this project. Stitching, knitting, crocheting, tailoring, everything is allied. If you want to customize your garments, it's better you have a bit of tailoring knowledge. See this. This is going to be the head of the spider, and I will stitch it here. So the later portion can be here. So head be here, later portion can be here, and I will design my legs around it. Now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to stuff a little bit of leftover yarn in both these pieces while stitching, so that my spider will have 3D effect. Just adding little bit of leftover yarn inside has given a nice elevation, and my spider is looking 3D. Now my spider will have 8 legs. This can be as crooked as you want, and trust me, symmetry or designing part is really not much important here. Animals have beauty of their own, and we don't know the mathematics or structural design of legs of spider. It's just metaphorical that it will have 8 legs. This is my first one. I always ensure return pass so that my stitching remains intact for a little longer run. And of course it gives additional thickness. I have not designed anything for making these legs. I'm just going with the flow. Return pass. Now we'll go for next 2 more legs. Now these 2 are going to be in the downward direction. Now I'll go for the last stitch and then a return pass. If you see at my work, second leg is little taller than the first one. Third one is taller than the fourth one. So I will complete the spider and then show you how it looks. And my Spiderman cardigan is ready. On the back side of the sweater or cardigan, see this? So Spiderman is watching you. Be careful. Next video in the line is Spiderman beanie or cap matching to this sweater. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly like, share and subscribe to my channel Hook to Knot.